Okay, so now we're going to move on. We're going to talk about some of the effects of meiosis in populations. And this is meiosis happening in a lily, a flower. And you can see it does create a cell wall. And you can see that the two resulting cells actually aren't in exactly the same phase of meiosis two at the same time, but they'll both get to the end. So this does happen in plants and animals and fungi as well, and protists. Protists. So here's a quick comparison. Mitosis, duplicated chromosomes line up one by one along the metaphase plate, sister chromatids separate. Meiosis, duplicated chromosomes do crossing over first, then homologous pairs separate, and then we have a second division when sister chromatids separate. So mitosis creates two cells genetically identical to the first. Meiosis creates four cells, each with half the DNA of the original cell. So this one starts with 2n equals 4, two pairs of chromosomes, and it ends with four cells, each of which have one of each chromosome, one of two chromosomes. Now, this is, like I was saying, a really big form of variation in populations. Because which genes get passed on is entirely due to chance. So which parts of the chromosomes cross over and get swapped? Random. Which line up on which side of the metaphase plate? Completely random. Which resulting sister chromatid gets in which cell? Completely random. So if you do believe in God, God may be, picking which chromosomes go where and which egg gets fertilized by which sperm. But as far as science can tell, we can see nothing that is determining what goes where. It's just random chance which way it lines up, which is very disappointing. Like, you want there to be more to it than that. But yeah, random chance has a huge role to play in biology. So this independent assortment of chromosomes is what we mean by the fact that which chromosomes end up in which resulting egg or sperm is randomly determined. And so because the chromosomes get shuffled into the different cells independently, each offspring of any pair is different from the mom and the dad. So that's independent assortment of chromosomes. Okay, so we can look at different possibilities and see that that could result in very different individuals. So here's two cells, both of which have 4 chromosomes, 2n equals 4, and they just line up with this pair swapped on the metaphase plate. So from this possibility, we get all paternal chromosomes in one cell, all maternal in the other. In this, we get half and half. Now, this isn't even correct because remember, these crossed over, and so neither of these is going to be all paternal or all maternal. As a result of this one, we get 2 gametes with paternal chromosomes, 2 gametes with maternal chromosomes. Over here, we get half and half in each. So we have 4 possible combinations from the same cell. Variation in life. Crossing over, because the parts that cross over are randomly determined, that adds another layer of genetic variation. So because they could cross over, on these or on these, they could share different amounts of chromosomes. They will share the same genes. So they're not going to unevenly cross over, they're gonna, like, if you give 2 genes from one arm, you get 2 genes from the other arm. Did that make sense? I hope. And this again means that there's more variation in the resulting generation. This result, where we have a chromosome that is part paternal and part maternal, we call those recombinant, meaning that it's just a new combination. We have recombined the genes in these chromosomes. So which genes you get is random, where they line up on the metaphase plate, which one ended up in which egg and sperm is random, and even which sperm fertilized which egg is largely random. So the genes that end up in the individuals in the next generation, totally freaking random, depending on what was available in the parents. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how, actually I'm going to pause, I'm going to end this section here, and then in the next section I'm going to talk about how meiosis proceeds in humans, because it's wackadoodle.